Okay, so here we go. This first video is probably going to be abysmal, but going to give it a shot. Never done this before. Probably going to be weird hearing my own voice, but figured we'd give it a shot. Basically, these videos are just going to be a journal, a digital journal of my trading. I'm by no stretch of the imagination a professional trader. I've always been interested in trading for a number of years. I've just never actually had the time to kind of sit and take it seriously. So, I'm a father, I've got a young family, and had to focus most of my time on the normal 9 to 5. So these are probably not going to be very entertaining, but they basically serve as a journal to my own trading. So I wanted to kind of record these videos. I would have preferred if they were live. I've just created a YouTube channel, but apparently you can't stream live for a set amount of time after you've just opened up or after you've just created a channel. So the first few recordings aren't going to be live, and I think it takes about 24 hours, and they unlock the live streaming service on the channel. So probably from tomorrow I'll start doing these live, basically just as a way for me to come back and go through the trades that I took throughout the day, analyze, see where I can improve, and so forth. So I am trading the European session at the moment. Markets opened up about 2 minutes ago. I don't use any indicators really. My charts are pretty much naked except for this 21 period moving average. Like I say, I'm no professional trader. I do have a strategy. I'm not really going to go through it. It's not my strategy. I didn't come up with it. But I've traded a bit. Well, when I say a bit, a few months now, using the strategy, and it's got a pretty decent hit rate. My problem, however, is more on the psychological side. So I tend to get into a trade and exit way too early. I have an issue with letting my winners kind of run. I've got no problem taking a loss. That's okay from a psychological point of view, but my issue at this point is the fear associated when the trade actually goes into profit. For some reason, I just want to close it out and take the profit that the market has kind of given me up to that point. I don't let it run, so that's what I'm going to try and work on, and that's pretty much the point of these videos. I haven't got a very big account. I'm a normal working class person. I'm an engineer by trade. Haven't got a lot of money. Not even working at the moment. Made some bad business decisions. Trusted the wrong people. So, I've got a bit of time at this point to kind of crack down on my trading and hopefully get to a point where I can kind of deal with that fear a little bit better. So I've got an account with TD365. I follow a trader by the name of Trader Tom, amazing gentleman. He actually did a whole research study on different brokers and found TD365 to be one of the better brokers when it comes to spreads. Charting platform isn't the greatest, but I mean, I don't use half of this stuff over here. Every now and then maybe I'll draw a line. I'll put a line over here just so I can see where the open is, because my brain, being an engineer, my brain can kind of overanalyze things, and I get a little bit stuck at sometimes when it comes to analyzing things. I kind of tend to overanalyze, so I'm also easy to miss things at certain points. So all I do is I put a line in here to show that this candle was the open candle, because the strategy that I'm trading at the moment kind of relies on where the opening candle is and subsequent bars to that open candle. So I need to be able to look very quickly and know exactly where the open candle is in order to follow the strategy. So yeah, not a very big account. So TD365, I've just blocked out my account number here, but yeah, $819. Started on 1,000, and like I say, I've had a little bit of trouble with kind of letting my profits run. If I go to my trading history from yesterday, you see this broker is great because their spreads are really tight and they're fixed spreads. But at the same time, on such a small account, you know, if you're trading $1 a point, and that's kind of the minimum, you can go half a point, half a dollar, well, 50 cents a point. I tend to do that during the US session, just because of the range of the Dow and the Nasdaq. The DAX I also trade half, and then obviously the FTSE's not as bad, so I trade $1 a point there. So yeah, as you can see, a lot of the times, you know, based on my strategy, the risk can be a bit of an issue, but I tend to have an issue getting into a trade, and when it goes in my favor, not allowing it to see its full potential. So the whole point here is to try and use these videos as a way to improve, you know, revert back, see what I was doing, and improve. Look, I'm under no illusion that that these videos are going to get very many views. If they get 10 views, I'll be surprised. But you know, if there are people out there who are in kind of the same position as I am, they can see just an average guy trying to make it in this game. I love trading. Like I said, I have dabbled for a number of years. I've just never actually had the time to sit and take it seriously. I've got a family to provide for, so I had to work majority of the day. By the time I'm done, I get home and I'm so tired. Probably not a good idea to trade at that point anyway. So yeah, these videos, they're not educational. I'm not providing any market insights. I'm just trading my plan, trading my strategy, journaling on paper, now using these videos as a way to actually go back and watch the trades. Sometimes what you read in your journal is a little bit out of context because you got nothing to really revert to visually. So that's basically the plan. So first 5-minute bar closed positive. I do have an entry if that bar was negative. Unfortunately, this time it's positive, so I've got no strategy there or setup there. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens. On the daily in the FTSE, bit of an uptrend here, and now we're ranging slightly. So we'll see if we're going to test the top of this range and either break out or come back down, retest these bottom of the range lows over here. So we'll wait and see. I'm waiting for a certain candle to set up. Again, like I say, the strategy that I trade is not my own. I've been following Trader Tom now for some time, and like I said, amazing guy. Free education, and I'd say probably the best education out there. I was like a lot of people who went through the phase of watching the typical YouTube gurus go through technical analysis and their strategies and their courses and so on and so forth. But Trader Tom is a breath of fresh air within the industry. I mean, the guy's been around for a long time. He's been doing this for a long time. And everything that he provides is out of the kindness of his own heart. I've been through all of his resource material, and his way of trading kind of resonates with me. He's not so big into technical analysis, more situational analysis, and my brain likes that type of thing. I've been down the traditional path of technical analysis, and I just get into analysis paralysis, where you start seeing what you want to see, and you start trading not what's in front of you, not what the market is actually doing, but kind of how you're feeling and how you think you perceive, or what you perceive should happen next. And that really wasn't working. So, but since having started following Trader Tom and his kind of approach, resonates quite well with me. So that's the way that I do things. Now it is just a case of waiting for the setup, seeing if the market gives me an opportunity, take the opportunity, and then work on managing the position. It's kind of the name of the game at the moment. The DAX on the daily also ranging with after a big uptrend. So we'll wait and see what happens. Like I said, the videos in future will be live streamed videos on YouTube, so if there is anybody out there who does get any kind of, I don't want to say pleasure, but is kind of in the same boat as I am, small account, not a professional trader, just trying to navigate the markets as successfully as possible. The kind of people who know what they need to work on. I know that my biggest kind of weakness isn't my strategy, but it's me, it's how I implement that strategy and how I kind of manage it. My emotions tend to take over, and that's what I'm trying to rectify. So we'll see. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. I'm not the most talkative of people, and this is pretty much for my own benefit anyway, so to go back through my own videos and hear my own voice, I think I'm just going to annoy myself, so I'm just going to trade, see what happens. I tend to only really trade the open, so first kind of hour and a half. After that, I'll kind of go back and review what the market has done, what I've done, and then get ready for the US session. So yes, I'm just going to have a sip of tea, so if you hear jingling, it's just a teaspoon in the cup. Excuse me. Earl Grey. So we are starting to set up here. That is not necessarily the line that I want. Let's make it a little bit thicker and a little bit easier to see. There and there so far. And on the DAX, let's do the same thing. Okay, so again, this isn't my strategy. It's called the aggressive school run strategy, coined by, again, Trader Tom. So if you want to find out more about the strategy itself, you can find him on YouTube under Trader Tom. His videos were an absolute breath of fresh air. And it took me a while to actually find him and to wade through the kind of the mess of YouTube videos of course advertisements and, you know, prop firm advertisements and traders kind of pushing people to join these prop firms before I actually found my sensei, my Mr. Miyagi. Probably a good idea to start setting up my position sizes and stop losses. So again, DAX half and stop loss at 40. I always trade with a stop loss. Always. Stick to the usual principles, never add to a losing trade. I'm trying to get to a point where I'm confident enough to start adding to winning trades. I just don't know if my account size kind of allows for it at this point. But I'm hoping to get there. So we'll see. Okay, so where are we? 1.5 minutes. Okay, so on the FTSE, what are we looking at here? High 87, low 78, DAX, low 94, high 419. Okay, so let's just move this down a little bit. I basically just use these lines as a guide as to where I'm going to get into the trade. So basically, if it breaks above this, I'm going long. If it breaks below, I'm going short. Simple as that. I can't get into any more details because I'm simply not the person to do that. You know, I'm not a teacher. I wouldn't be able to teach it properly. So feeling slightly under the weather today. I probably shouldn't be trading because got a spot of flu, I think. Stuffy nose, sore throat. Been taking vitamin C. Hopefully that helps. Let's see what we've got. Wow, okay. So that's quite a big boy count. Well, not too bad. Right, so we're looking to go short here. Okay, I'm in that short position. The only problem here with TD 365 is they've got really not very nice colors for the trade lines. Stop loss can come a little bit down, so basically stop loss on the other end of this candle. DAX, we should be short here as well. I missed that one, I think. Maybe it'll come back and give me a second chance. Open positions. Okay, so there's the trade. Looking at what, $11 worth of risk. I don't set targets. That's basically, I think, the whole point of this is to try and get to a headspace where I can let the profitable trades run for as long as possible. I'm obviously going to manage the trade, so if it gets to 10, 15 points in profit, I will move my stop loss to break even. But I don't like the idea of setting profit targets. I want to see if I can, from a psychological point of view, allow the trade to run for as long as possible. And so this is a live account, this is real money. I do have a demo account as well. I'll show you what that looks like. There's the demo accounts there. So if this was a demo account, it would actually say demo account underneath it. So if I just launch this one quickly, you'll see it says demo account there, and it'll try and get you to open up a live account. So there we go. So I'm trading off of this one at the moment, and we down 2 and a bit points. No big deal. So now it's a case of sitting on our hands and doing nothing. If it hits our stop loss, it hits our stop loss, and if it goes in our favor, then we'll manage it from there. That's kind of the whole point to what I'm doing here with these videos. Try and hold myself accountable after the fact. Let's see what the DAX is doing. It has come back a little bit. I wonder if we... Let me have a look here on the 15 minutes and see if there's any... Okay, so I think testing this support over here, so we've kind of bounced off of that a bit. If I'd actually been paying attention, that would have been... You see hindsight, eh? Hindsight is your best friend. But that would have been a decent first bounce kind of trade off of there. So as soon as it gets down to the support area, I should have bought that. Which kind of contradicts the strategy. So yeah, gotta stay disciplined. We might get the opportunity to go long here in the DAX. Let's just see. 5 minute. Okay, so we've already been stopped out of our FTSE trade. What was that? Minus 11. Okay, no big deal. Well, kind of a big deal on an $800 account, but just got to try and accept the loss and move on. Okay, so let's get into a long position here. Get our stop loss up to the point that it needs to be. And now we wait. Again, horrible colors. Let's make it green. Seems like we got a little bit of a range going here. So that's the strategy. Doesn't work all the time. And that's just part of trading. Could look at flipping the switch. We'll see. So far not so good. Try not to overtrade as well. You know, revenge trade. Take your loss, move on. This one not looking too good either, but never say never. Only when it hits the stop loss. Which it's gonna do momentarily, it looks like. What are we at? Another minus 11. Yeah, so we got a bit of a range going here, I think, now. We're bouncing between these two levels. Well, that's what I see anyway. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know, but that's what I see. FTSE. Coming back down. Do we take it again? It's this range that I'm a little bit worried about. Yeah, so. Okay, stopped out of DAX. Probably going to flip the switch here. Seems to be a bit of weakness. Or we range bound. So gotta follow the strategy. No deviating. Let's see what we're working with. So I want to try and get it into at least 10-15 points of profit before I move my stop loss. I don't want to do it too prematurely because I want to kind of negate the possibility of the market turning around and stopping me out for break even before potentially continuing down. So I'll just let it run, see what it does. You know, having said that, I don't necessarily have a profit target. If I do see a point in kind of previous structure where I think there's gonna be a turnaround, I will look at exiting the trade. Right now we're kind of bouncing off of the support level, getting a little bit of a nice breakout now. So let's see. Unlucky on the FTSE. If it hadn't have kind of rallied back up and stopped us out, we'd be in a bit of a nice position now. But It's kind of just the way the game goes, unfortunately. So bearing in mind, because we're only trading half a position size here, at this point we're in about 10 points worth of profit. So if it carries on to about 15 points, I'll look to start moving my stop loss. I think kind of at this point now. Although now we're starting to stutter step a little bit. We'll move it down to there, just give it a little bit more room. Minimized, well, decreased our potential risk. But I want to kind of give it a little bit of room to move. There we go, now it's starting to move nicely, so we'll just bring our stop loss down to break even and risk-free trade. Okay, so now is basically the hard part, and this is the part that I struggle with the most, and that's kind of just letting the trade run, letting it do its thing. If it comes back and stops me out for break even, so be it. But kind of want to get to a point where I'm in the trade without fear, and you know, emotionally just closing the trade because I'm in a little bit of profit. Try not to think about the previous losses, and try not to trade with the objective of trying to make back some of those losses. Those losses are in the past, there's nothing you can do about it. And I mean, this trade could run 50, 60 points, we don't know. So to close it out at a point where all it's essentially done is made you back what you've lost, or made me back what I've lost on the past two trades, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, we don't know what it's going to do. Like I said, it could drop 60, 70 points. It could also come back and stop me out for break even. I think that's part of the psychological game that I'm trying to improve on. So not have that fear when you're sitting in the trade and it's going your way. So retracing quite a bit here is what it is. We do have an SRS that's set up, and that's on kind of this 15-minute bar over here. So there. Can we please grab that line? I don't want to grab my stop loss, I want to grab this line. Try and do this. Oh my gosh. That's really awkward. Something like that. So again, breakout strategy. If it breaks below this 15-minute bar, I'm going to look to sell. If it breaks above, I'm going to look to buy. Simple as that. Where is our 15-minute? Over here. Give myself a little bit of a buffer on either side. Looks as though we are bouncing off of these levels. Don't want to exit, but don't know if we're going to break below those levels. Kind of contradicting myself already. That's exactly what I'm trying to work on. That's nice. Just moving my stop loss down a little bit more. Manage the trade. Try and get something out of it at least, I guess. At this point, it's moved a decent amount in our favor, or in my favor. I don't know who this our is, and we. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but anyway, it's moved a decent amount in my favor, so manage it a little bit. There we go. There's a nice breakdown. What are we now? 16, 17. Where are we? With regards to previous structure, looking at this over here, we might get a bounce off of that. I'm going to take the profit here. And I should probably have let that run a little bit longer, but I was just looking at the structure over here to the left. Quite strong support, and then resistance, and then support, and now perhaps support again. So what did we see there? So about 34 points. That's not what I wanted to go to. Let's see what's happening on the FTSE. Okay, so this is kind of our levels that we want to see broken before we get into a position. Again, with the we, I don't know what's wrong with me. I suppose if anybody does end up watching these videos, I highly doubt that anybody will. But if anybody does, I suppose I can be inclusive with my language. Don't like this over here. Seem to be respecting that a little bit. And here. DAX. Dropping more. Where did I get out of this trade? 5.7 or 5.6 or 6.0. Where's that? So up at this point here. So let me just put a line there. So I'll make it green. So thereabouts is where I got out. Okay, and we've pushed, what, 12 extra points. We still don't know if this move is over, but therein lies the issue that I'm having. Look, you're never gonna, I don't think you're ever going to find the exact bottom of the move and exit exactly where the bottom is. But what I'm trying to work on is getting out of positions, profitable positions, with no valid reason, and then seeing the position run another 100 points in your favor, my favor, and having fear be the only reason as to why I actually closed out the position. So that's basically what I'm trying to work on. One of the aspects of my trading that I'm trying to work on. Seems to be getting a little bit stuck. FTSE literally just caught on this level. See if it breaks through. So part of my method after this is obviously to write down in my trade journal all three of those trades. So it's basically just like a memoir to myself as to why I got into the trade, where I got into the trade, what happened during the trade. Was it a good trade in that? Did I follow the rules of my strategy? Seeing if there's anything that I can improve. But you know, sometimes you do everything right and you still get stopped out. That's just the way it goes. And there is nothing that you can do about it. You know, the only thing that I do find a little bit of an Achilles heel with this specific strategy is it's very bar dependent. So you will have seen I placed my stop losses on the other end of the bar. Sometimes, if it's a very big volume candle, you find yourself in a position where your stop loss is 40, 50 points away. I suppose at that point you could decrease your position size, but I'm kind of on the lowest end of position sizes already, so not much more decreasing can be done. But yeah, basically it's very bar dependent. So you know, if you have a signal candle with a range of 50 or 60 points, if you're trading $1 a point, you know it's $60 worth of risk. And on a small account that can kind of hurt. So there are times within the strategy where if the risk is too great, I just won't take the trade. Okay, so we kind of caught it at this level a little bit. Again, if anybody does end up watching these videos, I'm not a professional, so half of my syntax is going to be incorrect. I know it is. Sometimes I can be a bit dyslexic. So please don't crucify me for that. I'm in two minds as to whether or not I want to enable comments on these videos. I might have comments for a period and just see if the comments that come through are actually constructive or negative, because I have no space for negativity in my life at the moment. I don't think I can manage it very well, so I'd rather just not subject myself to it. But if anybody does ever end up watching these videos, I will leave the comment section enabled and just see what kind of feedback I get. I know that I'm probably going to get railed by people out there who know way more than I do. And if it's constructive, I'll look at it. But if it ain't, I'm not really interested. Yeah, so pushed down and then came straight back up. I'm hoping that the video quality, or the presentation quality at least, gets a bit better as I learn this stuff. This is kind of my first time doing any YouTube or recording things, so I did a mic test just before I started this recording and I heard my voice for the first time in a long time and I couldn't believe it was actually me. I suppose the fact that I have a cold at the moment contributes to my voice sounding a little bit different, but still. Okay, now it seems like we're breaking down a bit further in the FTSE, but I've got no entries at the moment, so just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so 46 minutes. I don't want the YouTube videos to be too long a format. Probably going to stick around for another 5 minutes and just see what this market does, but at this point in time I've got no entry. Yeah, so we are pushing a little bit further down. Damn it. It's exactly what I'm trying to work on. But this is, I'm now looking at this kind of in hindsight, so coulda, woulda, shoulda. Didn't. That's the game we play. But yeah, I think for a first video that's cool. I'm probably going to end it there. I'm going to do some journaling now. Gonna do a little bit more research. I've got some more resources that I want to go through. Gonna come back for the US session. I actually don't enjoy the US session too much. On my small account, I find it a bit expensive. Especially in the Dow. The Dow can move so quickly and so far that, whew, just from a risk profile on this small account makes it quite an interesting instrument to trade. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to close up shop now, go back, watch the video, upload it to YouTube. The next 2 days or so I'll start doing live streaming. Kind of that way it uploads itself straight to YouTube. And if there is anybody out there who has any type of interest in watching just a normal dude try and navigate these markets as successfully as possible, they're welcome to join me. If not, no big deal. I'm under no illusion that I'm gonna be the next YouTube star or influencer. I've no interest in that. Getting the videos up onto YouTube just means they're not sitting on my computer hard drive, so why not use YouTube servers? Great, so I'm going to leave it there. Yeah. If anybody does see this, have a great day. And I'll be back for US.